And I give the call to the honourable member for Fowler.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the amendments 1 and 2 as circulated in my name.
Are you also seeking leave?
I'm seeking leave, yes.
Is leave granted? The
Yes,
Assistant Minister.
Yes, leave is granted.
Leave is granted. Ms Lee, I'll ask you to move the amendments in your name.
Thank you, Speaker. I move the amendments 1 and 2 as circulated in my name.
You may proceed.
The Australian Public Service is a privileged profession within the Australian society, and there is an expectation that it is carried out with both diligence and competency, and now with the introduction of this bill, the added value of stewardship. However, the sector is not able to wholly meet Australians' expectation if the workplace does not foster the diverse and multicultural needs. Australia's culturally diverse population is drawn from more than 300 ancestries and is visible in everyday life. Yet, as soon as one views the leadership circles of many institutions, including the Australian Public Service, this rich tapestry of cultures and ethnicities of representation suddenly disappears. The deep-set circle of networks, entrenched views on leadership styles and structures of traditional Australian institutions have created many systematic barriers for diverse voices, lived experiences, perspectives to be heard and included. This is a significant loss of opportunity because there is a wealth of experience and knowledge from cold talent that remains untapped. A public service that has a diversified workplace will enable greater representation, diverse perspectives to problem-solving and solutions, an increase in expertise and a collaborative environment. As stated in David Thodey's report, the APS requires a whole-of-service diversity and inclusion strategy to ensure that talents are well utilised and harnessed to serve the Australian public. Particularly, the APS would benefit from taking advantage of individuals from various corners of life and perspectives. It is disappointing that the government has rejected my amendment to make it law, and the APS must act on implementing the necessary changes that will enable diverse and robust APS. In rejecting the amendment, the government will miss the opportunity to really reform the APS with contribution from a member like myself who has lived experience and speaking from a perspective that's often lacking at the decision-making level, as well as incorporating Thodey's Recommendation 25 on diversity and inclusion. The Public Service Act does briefly touch base on the recognition of diverse communities within the APS workplace. Can I say that this notion of recognising diverse communities, the language is quite condescending. This in itself shows how important it is to include the amendment that I propose. Cold communities do not need just to be recognised. We know our value, our contribution and the impact we have on the economy and society overall. If the government had accepted my amendments, it won't just need to recognise us, but rather it can implement and put into action policies that can strengthen the employment principles, a principle based on diversity. The proposed amendment to Section 10A of the Public Service Amendment will ensure that career-based public service is one that acknowledges and promotes the diversity of Australian community and create an environment where diverse ideas and lived experiences are valued. This is in line with Thodey's recommendation that the APS should address the need for greater representation of diverse groups and perspectives. By having such a direct APS employment principle, encouraging diversity of views and experiences, this will allow APS to have the confidence that their voice has power and can be utilised to address the diverse Australian community's needs and expectations. The proposed amendment to Section 18 will place a positive obligation on agency heads to ensure that a workplace diversity program is established to allow for proactive development of individuals of diverse backgrounds and promote diverse recruitment within the agency to give effect to the APS employment principles. Ultimately, highlighting the benefits and value-added proposition of a diverse and inclusive workforce will ensure the APS can deliver for the needs of our wider community. Thank you.